Has anyone told you about Loki? With the player base in an amazing spot right now. Wow. Well done, Iris. And the potential for a bunch of new people flocking to the game, I feel the need to warn everyone about this monster. In the Lord's year of 2025, Loki is pretty prevalent wherever you look. He has his own TV show, his brother is a big player in the Avengers, and most recently he tricked everyone into thinking he's a good guy in Marvel Rivals. Literally the god of tricks, and he's healing people. I don't buy it. So chances are you have heard of him, and therefore based on all this, you might think he can't be that bad in Smite. Bit of a problem child maybe, but nothing to worry about, right? Wrong. He's a dickhead. Lokis don't just kill you to enjoy their games, they taunt you. While I was getting footage for this video, I ended up doing this to so many people. I'm not a sadistic person. Loki literally makes you do this to people. Maybe that's why there's so many Loki mains. He twists their minds. It's not your fault, guys. Seek help. Even his laugh is horrifying. Moving on. This guy is possibly the sole reason I don't think they should have changed the way gods are labeled, because this guy is by definition an assassin. He goes invisible, surgically removes your still beating heart, and then continues on his merry way. If you're an ADC and you see a Loki get locked in on the enemy team, it's probably best you become a DC, because the only thing you'll be carrying that game is your aspect spawn, several times. With a description like this, you must think Loki's kit is just 4 abilities that send you back to the fountain in one way or another. And while he will send you back to the fountain after you've sword yourself and realized you booted up the wrong game, Loki is just a cunt. I wouldn't say he's overpowered. Let me explain. Loki's passive is called Behind You, and it's the same thing camp leader Peter would say before he took my farts away. This passive gives Loki bonus damage if he attacks you from behind, which is about this region of your body. This is just a temporary bug, don't worry about it. 15% isn't game breaking, and how often are you facing away from your enemy anyway? Just make sure you're always looking towards the Loki. His first ability is the reason I'll never feel safe in the woods again. Vanish is to Loki what a slipper is to my mum. Yes, he can still whoop your ass without it, but knowing they always have it on hand, and the constant fear and paranoia it gives you when you know you're on their hit list, is what truly gives it power. Vanish turns Loki invisible for 4 seconds, becoming immune to slows. This also causes his next basic attack to deal damage over time. This also resets cooldown upon a kill. This also fucking gives him 35% move speed. I think many people agree, movement speed is one of the best stats in the game right now. So having 35% on a 15-second cooldown is just absurd, and the cooldown doesn't even wait for him to be on stealth. It just starts on activation, which I think is dumb, but I don't know how to design a game. I just know I wouldn't have done that. It can also be used to auto-attack cancel, making it some amazing bursts for Loki once he has built Hydras. Loki's Vanish also has a cool new aspect tied to it, which is something new to Smite 2. Aspects give an old and outdated ability or passive a new shiny coat. Some give the god a new playstyle, some give the god more of what they already did well, and some are just better than the rest. If I don't go top damage with this on, please report me, as I am clearly working against you. Loki's aspect turns his Vanish into a Vanus. Instead of dealing damage over time, it now makes Loki's friends invisible with him. Unless you're me and try out Loki and support, you won't see anybody using this, because Lokis don't have friends. Loki's 2 is that same horrible sound you've been hearing during your sleep paralysis. Loki makes a decoy of himself that spews bloopers juices in an area. If this hits an enemy 4 times, you'd see why I called it bloopers juices. This is a decent farming ability that can provide a lot of disruption in a team fight. With the narrow lanes of the jungle, this ability can basically lock off an area from the enemy team. It's not as effective as a cuckoo tornado, but the fear of being blinded along with the knowledge that Loki is close enough to smell said fear is usually a good deterrent for any player that values their life. It's like when a dog pisses on a bush. Loki's letting you know this is his territory. Only the dumb and brave try and challenge that claim. Flurry Strikes is Loki's third ability. He sends out a flurry of strikes. Loki's third ability is aptly named Flurry Strikes, as he sends out a flurry of strikes in a cone. Loki's third ability is aptly named Flurry Strikes, as he sends out a flurry of strikes. Fuck! Loki's third ability is aptly named Flurry Strikes, as he sends out a flurry of strikes in a cone in front of him, applying an unstacking slow on each strike and a more powerful slow on the final strike. It's like Anubis' 1, except shit. Because this is usually a follow-up from his Vanish or ult, unless you blink, dash or leap away, there's usually no escaping the attack, because he's already close enough to you, meaning he will hit you with the slow and a Hydra's boosted auto, giving you some much needed time to go on your phone. Loki's ultimate is called Assassinate, and just like the name, Loki's about to double your asses by chopping your current one in half. Loki teleports to a chosen location and performs 2 strikes, the first crippling the target and the second stunning them for 0.75 seconds. This move is such a great way to send someone back to the fountain after you've caught them trying to split push. It sets Loki up perfectly to basic attack, then cancel into Vanish to do another basic attack. Places 2, and if you aren't dead by this point, you'll have a second to try and fight back before he begins to flurry and finish you off. If you see a Loki just casually walking towards you and you've only just realized you're alone, just know you're in for a candlelit dinner, 4 seconds of grunting, and an excuse as to why he's disappeared in the morning. All around, Loki is one of the best junglers for punishing out of position players and teams that don't want to ward. He can't really win any boxing matches as he relies on a quick burst and surprise attack, but he's one of the only gods I feel you can build however you want and still have some form of impact on the team if you focus on disruption and causing the enemy team as much headache as possible. Some of his best matchups are against gods that can't easily CC him and generally lack an escape, like Zeus, Jingwei, Thanatos, and Sol. Really, anybody super squishy to be honest. And he really struggles against those gods with dot and the ability to attack in a wide area, like Cuckoo, Agni, and Kepri, as the dot will reveal Loki constantly, making his vanish a lot less valuable, and the wide area of that dot makes it hard to avoid. Obviously, I could be wrong, but this is just my experience. If you're playing Loki, remember, they may not see you, but they can most probably hear you. And if you're against Loki, wards on your ears are your best friend. And if you want to split push, may Odin himself grant you a divine blessing. In conclusion, he may be the one with the ability, but you're the one that will vanish. Thank you all for watching. The support on these has been so encouraging to the point my uni work has fallen a bit on the back burner. I've got some big weeks ahead, so the next one might take a bit longer to come out, but either way, let me know who you'd like to see and I'll try my best to get around to them.